Hey there, YouTube. Coming to you from a Monday morning here in South Alabama. I hope the week is off to a good start for you. Holiday week here if you're in the States, and if you happen to be traveling for Thanksgiving, y'all be safe out there on the roads. Today I thought I'd talk about the importance of omega-3s on a plant-based diet. I've talked about this before. I've studied this before, but I'm always just trying to consume new information and just kind of keep this old senile brain of mine up to date on it. And I've listened to a number of good talks on omega-3 specifically lately. And I'm going to link one below. I'm going to go ahead and mention that before I even get into the video. I was listening to one with the proof with Simon Hill. I've referenced that one several times in the last month or two. And I was listening to a really good detailed one, actually, probably, if I'm being honest, a little bit over my head with the science, but I'll put a link to it in the show notes below down there. And I always encourage you, I just kind of just try to give you a little blurb of it here. You probably should take a deeper dive on any of these subjects and actually, get some differing opinions on them. But the omega-3s, there's different types of it. There's ALA, which is found in plant sources, and then there's EPA and DHA. Now those are typically found in fish, but the body can convert ALA into small amounts of the EPA and the DHA. I have to refer to my notes with all these initials and stuff here. But like I say, a lot of people will say, well, you can't convert, and the body doesn't convert ALA efficiently. And to a big extent, that is true. It only converts it in smaller amounts, and that's why we need to be particularly more vigilant about consuming more of those omega-3s and possibly lower on the omega-6s. In other words, getting that omega-6 to omega-3 ratio a lot better in favor of the omega-3s. Now, what do the omega-3s do? They affect heart health. Omega-3s can help lower blood pressure and reduce cardiovascular disease. But the really important part of it is that the brain health. And DHA is a major component of brain tissue and essential for cognitive function. So that it is important that we're not just, we're taking the sources of omega-3, but we make sure that we're getting them, enough of them to where we do get that conversion over. Because if they're not if they're only converting small amounts, that just means we need to be consuming more of these, and like I say, less of the omega-6s. And it also affects inflammation because the omega-3s have anti-inflammatory properties, and the omega-6s tend to have inflammatory properties. Now, this is one that was a little bit, I don't remember, because like I say, this was a professor he was talking about in this particular podcast I just referenced, and I actually listened to one with Dr. Joe Furman recently. But also, too, the thing is about lowering the omega-6 is because the omega-6 in the diet directly affects the conversion of the omega-3 ALA from plant foods to the EPA and the DHA. Now, there's different sources of this ALA. I've mentioned these many times, just even in passing in other videos, and they're the flax seeds. I try to get flax seeds almost every day. I use them in my ice cream. I use them in my smoothies. I use them in my green smoothies. Sometimes I'll just, blend them in with salad dressings. Because when you blend them in with a lot of things, they don't really, add that much of a taste. But I will say they can give a little bit of bulk to things. Chia seeds as well. Chia seeds have a good profile for omega-3s, plus you get a little bit of a calcium boom in there. So I try to mix those two up. It's always kind of trying to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that all the time. And walnuts, just, snacking on walnuts. But when I say snacking, I don't mean like sitting down with the bag and like just eating tons and tons of this stuff. Walnuts, just small amounts every day, maybe a little bit chopped up on your salad. Or just, like a quick snack in the afternoon when you need something to hold you over to dinner. And hemp seeds as well. Now, like I say, since the conversion rate is relatively low, and there's also, this is one that's very important, and I think fairly, I don't know when I'm going to do it in 2024, but I am going to get my omega 3 checked. I'd like to get full blood work done. That would just be really interesting, but blood work is expensive. Excuse me. I forgot one time I was checking how much to see a full panel of all the different things you would check was, and it was up there. I want to say it was like $500, $600, $700. Now there is an omega-3 test online. I think it's Omega Quant or Omega Quartz, Omega Quant, something like that. That you can, they will send you a little kit. You prick your finger, you send it back, and they will let you know your omega-3 levels. That one I'm going to do for sure. I don't know exactly when I'll do it, but I'm going to do that one for sure. Because then you kind of know and you can make better decisions because, you know, if your omega-3 is really low, you might even choose to supplement. There are some algae oils out there and some seaweeds out there, seaweed oils, algae oils out there that are vegan, plant-based sources, no animals in there, of supplements to take. But also too, and then there's always a little hitch in there. Dr. Neil Bernard mentions that sometimes with the supplementation, there is a slight risk, higher risk of prostate cancer in probably men that are more prone to that. Now, I don't know, I'm not saying it's a high risk or whatever, but that is just something to look into. And that's why I like to just mainly mention bullet points in these kind of talks, to let you know the importance of it. But even for me, listen, I would have to sit down. It would be almost like me doing a thesis for my, like I say, with my old senile brain, for me to do a full in-depth like talk on this kind of stuff, like these people that are like experts and have the PhDs and are doctors can do. So I always advise you to take those deeper dives and listen to some of these podcasts in your free time. Listen to them in your car. You know, whatever you do for entertainment at night, listen to a podcast sometime. But it's really got some valuable information in there on stuff like that. But I have, I would say, over the last several years, made a lot more diligent effort in, you know, making sure I'm getting those omega-3s every day. And also, too, like I say, just like cutting down a little bit, or not necessarily cutting down, but just not getting out of control with the omega-6 the omega-6 fats in my diet. So anyhow, those omega-3s are really important, and especially, like I say, the brain part of it. There's just like a lot of research out there that is talking about now how this, you know, having lower amounts of omega-3s can help foster and lead to dementia, and like having adequate amounts of omega-3 can help us with things like the Alzheimer's and dementias and things that we tend to get as we age. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a beautiful week. Even though it's a holiday week, I'm sure I'll come to you with another video or two. So have a great day. Peace.